See, the handlebars are right there. So the handlebars are knocking the bottom of these things and knocking them up and pulling the wires and breaking these, you know, the fragile little connectors. So we're going to have to come up with another system. So these are going to come through there. Boom. So basically like that. Get that to sit down in there. So it's not the sexiest thing. It's not super pretty. We don't need to do it this one, but I'm thinking about doing it to that one just to keep consistency. It's imperfect, but it'll do the job. And maybe later down the road, we'll find some different switches. I could always have mounted them down here, which probably would have been a better place to put them, especially if we're using the waterproof ones because they'll get more weather here. But that means rerunning all these wires. And we've got a relay over here for the fog lamps, which draw a lot of power. So this is my solution for now. If something happens, or if, you know, Dave sees and is like, man, that is fugly, I'm not driving that, then we'll readdress that. In Canada because
a boot. A boot. Sorry.
But what's the real project we're doing today? Well, the real project we're doing today is I've got this torn apart, and Dave would like some passenger armrests. Now that's a $280 US option to buy the show chrome ones. So we're gonna make our own, okay? Because we're on a budget. So basically, in a card, or I'll flash some pictures up here somewhere, or maybe just the whole screen I'll switch to pictures of the mock-up. So you'll see the whole mock-up of what it looks like, but basically these will be the plates. They're going to bolt in here. I just 3D printed a little plate to kind of get me an outline. So I got some 3mm plate steel. This will come here, and we'll kind of get an idea of where, you know, how far out we're going to be. I may actually bring this out a little further, but there'll be a hinge, of course, in the picture that you've seen. There's a hinge that will be welded here. And the arm will come up, and the armrest will actually stay here. Back up, so I'll show you there. So as you see on the picture somewhere. So this will just help me do a pattern to trace out and cut the plate steel for the base plates. And yeah, I think we're going to try to tackle that today. All right, so the design of this. You have to unplug. You don't have to undo the entire antenna. You just have to undo these. They fasten in under the rear seat. However, I'm going to try to get these out of here completely because we are no longer going to use this antenna. We've hooked the radio to the CB antenna, and it seems to get great reception. So we're just going to run with the one antenna, seeing how this one's broke. But the design of those wings does use this as the connector. So what we're going to do is I'm going to try to get this off of here and get these wires out of there. That way we're not messing with these wires. And all this stuff we're keeping, like we're not tossing any of it out, so that if Dave ever moves the mic on, then you know, this all can go with the new owner, and they can decide to put it all back the way they want to. But yeah, I think I might try to get rid of this plastic chrome cover too. We'll see what the cover's underneath. We can always polish it up a little bit. I'm not a big fan of chrome plastic. I think it's crap. I'm not a big fan of chrome anyway, but it's definitely don't like chrome plastic. So I'm going to try to undo this. It's obviously been broken there. So we're going to try to undo this section here. We'll keep the short stock and the mounting point. Try to get rid of this cover. It's rashed up anyway, so it doesn't matter. And we'll try to maybe polish the aluminum underneath so it kind of matches the other one a little bit, and we'll go from there. So I'll bring you back if I get this done. Okay, in case you guys are ever doing this, I just want to show you real quick. So there's a pin that goes in here, and you line that up, and the pin goes through, and that's what holds. You just punch it out with a punch, and that's what holds all your wiring in there. So This we're taking out because, again, I want these wires out of here so that I don't have to deal with them on the armrest. Now, on the other side, we, of course, will have to deal with the wires, but there's no real reason to have these in there. But if you're ever replacing your antenna wiring, then that's what you got to do. So I wanted to show you that. Just pop that pin out, and it comes out. And it's the same thing here with this hinge pin. So that's where it broke right there. So the antennas are made to pop up and then fold over. And that's where that broke. There we go. We've got this part all ready to go. Now we had some scratches. I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but you can't see them anymore anyway because they're gone. So you can spend some money. I don't know how much they charge for this stuff, but I mean, let's be a little fair here. I'll just at least clean it up. So this is chrome plastic, which I absolutely hate. So you can spend money on a cheap chrome plastic, or for a couple of bucks in polishing pads you can get for your cordless drill, you know, and some aluminum polish, mothers, aluminum mag polish, you can get this, right? And all you gotta do is touch that up, you know, once in a blue moon. You just throw a little bit on a rag and that'll polish back up to chrome like consistency, right? And you don't have any cheap chrome plastic on your bike. So why somebody would choose that over 10 minutes with something you probably already have in your garage, except maybe the polishing pads. You can pick up groups of them for like a pack of different grits and polishing pads for your drill for like 25, 30 bucks. And you'll have them for more than just this job. You'll have them for probably for less than the cost of one of these. You can, in 10 minutes of your time, you can have this. So, and I mean, you could spend a lot of time and get this absolutely mirror finish if you wanted. I'm just going for, you know, looking pretty good. So definitely better than rashed up, right? So, and then because eventually your chrome, you'll get this stuff here. I don't know if you guys can see that in the camera, but the chrome will bubble off the plastic, and it's just, I mean, it's just garbage. You know, this will last forever and look beautiful. There we go. So basically that's the test plate. I've adjusted the holes. We'll have to add a third hole for the wiring, but basically that's the way it's going to look. I don't know if I need to come out any farther than that. I think that's probably fine for distance. So that's all going to bolt in there. That'll be 3-inch plate steel, and this hole here, or slot, I guess, it's just a representation of where the hinge is going to be. So we just got to angle the hinge so that it clears this and has their pad right about there for the armrest. Now, the ones that you buy from Showchrome, they just swing in and out. They're on a straight hinge, but I may try to come up with some sort of a cam or lock position where it actually locks in a little bit. Now, when I took kids for rides on my 15 or my dad's 1500 when he had hit, when the kids were little, I just use a bungee around the armrest to kind of keep them secure. But we're not just making this for Nicole, we're also making this for Finn, Dave's service dog, who's going to be sitting on the back seat of the bike. So we're going to, I don't know whether I want to be able to make them lock in place or what we're going to end up doing. Now, the other consideration is this is on a slight angle. So what we'll have to do is the hinge can't sit like that. Otherwise, it's going to like come up like a gull wing. So we're going to have to angle it out just a little tiny bit so that it actually comes around. But this will keep it from coming all the way back. So it's not going to go 180. It'll go like 130 or whatever. And then this is going to keep it from folding in too far. It'll go right to here. So, all right. So that's pretty much the mock-up. I guess now it's just a matter of putting that to the plate steel and cutting it out. So yeah, I don't know how much of that I'll film. You've seen me cut steel before. So yeah, I'll bring you back and show you what we're doing. Hey, just a little progress update. So we have our plates all roughed out, and so this one will be the left plate. So it's actually going to go like this to follow the line of the chrome trim over there. I'll show you the one over there. It's all bolted in. Now we're just working on the arms, so it's going to be something like this. Now I don't know if that's enough. Like, so that screws into the bottom. We could put a lock nut on here. Weld that to there, and then this spins with the arm. So we'll just see if that's enough support. If not, we'll have to support. If this is, we'll have to lengthen that a little bit. We'll have to find something else to go in there. I'm just working on a scrap I got laying around, so we can go buy longer pieces of this. And these are just these shredded, I don't know what it's like, long nuts. You can start on both ends. So you can get them various lengths, various metric standard, all kinds of stuff. And you can also drill out, if you're looking for a tube and you need just the right size, you can also drill out the threads and use it for a tube. You can also buy tubes, of course, but these are good, thick, thick walled. If you can't find thick walled tube, like that's fairly thick pipe tube, plumbing tubing, and you can use something like that. But you find a lot of pipe that's really thin wall. I haven't got a piece around to show you, but basically that's nice and beef. So, and it's got flats so you can weld or you can prop it up or whatever. You can also sand off the edges if you want more of a tube. Or you can sand some and then leave some so you can still get a wrench on it and tighten. It's just, these are flexible. You can do a lot with these. So I'll show you quick over here. So there we go. That's all bolted in. Now, the only other consideration here is if you're thinking of doing this yourself, is now that you've got this 3mm plate in here, actually it's more like, maybe that's 5mm plate. I don't know. It's pretty deep anyway. You're going to have to put some spacers or these are going to bend when you tighten these down. So we'll make up some spacers, either metal, and that's probably not enough light for you to see. How's that? Is that better? Yeah. Metal, or maybe I'll 3D print a spacer using 100% infill. You can get it pretty good, and it'll take a lot of torque. And it really doesn't need to take a ton of torque. It's because it's sandwiched between two like metal brackets, so it's not taking the whole load. It's just basically pull up slack so the metal doesn't bend. And then I've got a couple of these that were taken off of an armchair. So they kind of go like that, and then the arm pads are up here. So we're cutting off the brackets because they'll need to be rewelded. We're going to reuse these, but they're going to need to be rewelded in different angles. So we're just going to cut them off, and that's what we're going to use. So, all right, reporting you back when I get to a little progress. Hey, welcome back with an update. So this is what we got. Here we go. So all the way back to here, and she folds all the way in, and then that stops it from going too far. So I just decide we can always add a little nub there or something to kind of really stop it from where we want it. And I guess we'll decide where we want the pad. Yeah, so I think that's gonna do it, and the pad will just kind of sit out here. So we could increase the angle on that a little bit. It could actually come up a little further by knocking this off and then cutting that. And I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I want to come up a little steeper. We might do that. Come up just a tiny bit steeper. But that's pretty good there. I mean, it's whatever's going to be there is going to be beef anyway, so it's not going to matter. But I think maybe we'll chop that off and just come up just a little bit steeper and come up just a little bit higher. All right, I'll bring you back. Hey, all right. So here is the left side. Okay, so we've got a degree there. We've got our holes all drilled, and then we have an M4 threaded to do the adjustment. So it'll hold it out where we want. Obviously, we're going to put a shorter screw in there. We don't want that sticking out. Now, over here is what it's going to look like on the bike. So right there, boom. So we got to put our pad up on top of here. Comes out, and obviously we don't have our adjustment screw in here yet, but we will. So that's yeah, that's it. It's going to go all the way out there. It'll stop there, and it'll come in here wherever our adjustment screw is. You'll be able to adjust it out, and I think that'll probably do it. So obviously we've got to clean up the welds a little bit. This is just tacked, so we'll finish up those welds. We've got to get the other side over here disassembled, the antenna off so we can get the plate mounted, and then obviously we got to come up with the pad. So I don't know what I got laying around for that. I may have to end up buying something just cheap or something like that. Reskin it with some real good marine grade vinyl, something like that, to come up with a nice pad that brings it probably, I'm going to guess, like, I think I want to just bring it up to here, maybe halfway where the speaker is. So it'll just depend on, you know, comfort level or whatever of whoever's going to be sitting in it. So yeah, so we'll add the adjustment screw, clean it up, clean up the welds. Obviously, we're going to give it some black paint, and we'll have our armrest. So there we go. Afternoon's work. not even, yeah, a couple of hours, I guess, in the shop with the old 1500. And another job is down, so I'll finish welding that stuff up, maybe round the corners of the plate a little bit, make it look a little more aesthetically pleasing, shoot it with some black paint, and job's a good one. So I'll do one last update once I've got all that done and bring it back and show you what it looks like. For me, that'll be a week. For you, it'll only be a second. If you like this kind of content, like and subscribe. Check out our other channel, ADV, Trail Trash ADV. And for Jeff and Colin at Trail Trash, we'll see you on the next one. You know we're in Canada because...
A boot! That's a boot! Sorry.